In a world that's absolutely packed with talent, how do you go from being just another face in the crowd to being the one expert that everyone wants to hire? Well, that's exactly the challenge we're going to tackle today. We are going to map out the entire journey from being a jack of all trades to becoming a really sought-after, valued specialist.
So, does this sound familiar? You're good at what you do, but you find yourself constantly having to compete on price, saying yes to pretty much every project that comes your way, and just feeling like you're running on a hamster wheel? If that's you, you are not alone. It's a super common struggle. But the good news is, it's not a trap you have to stay in.
This is what we call the classic generalist trap. See, by trying to be everything to everyone, you kind of just become a commodity. And when clients can't tell you apart from all the competition, what do? They default to the only thing they can see that's different, the price. And that's a race to the bottom that, let's be honest, only ends in burnout.
But, and this is a big but, there is a really powerful way out of this trap. It's all about developing the specialist's edge. And this isn't about limiting your options. No, it's about focusing your power. So, let's dive into exactly why niche expertise always wins.
Okay, start with the number that really speaks for itself. A LinkedIn report found that specialists earn, on average, 43% more than generalists. Just think about that for a second. That is not a minor bump. That's a career-changing difference, and it signals a huge shift in how the market really perceives value.
So you might be wondering, where does that massive pay gap even come from? Well, it's this powerful ripple effect. Suddenly your marketing becomes laser-focused, you build deep, real trust with clients because you literally speak their language. Your processes get way more efficient, and this is the big one. You can start pricing your work based on the value you create, not just the hours you put in. Let's make this feel real for a second. Meet Sarah. For years, she was a design-for-everyone kind of person, constantly fighting for low-paying gigs. Then she pivoted. She decided to focus only on sustainable fashion brands. And get this, within 6 months, her rates doubled, and she had a waiting list. Why? Because she wasn't just a designer anymore, she was the designer who understood the specific challenges and values of her ideal clients. Okay, so that's the what and the why, but how do you actually do it? Let's break it down with a super simple niche roadmap, designed to take you from just a broad idea all the way to becoming a recognized authority. Here is the plan. Step 1. Find your zone. This is that magic spot where your unique talents and a real market need intersect. Step 2. Validate the market. No guesswork here, we're going to test the idea to make sure people will actually pay for it. And finally, Step 3. Differentiate. This is where you figure out how to explain exactly what makes you the best and really the only choice.
You know, that first step, finding your zone, it's about way more than just money. A Gallup study found that professionals who line up their work with their natural talents are 6 times more engaged. So finding your niche isn't just a business strategy, it's a recipe for a much more fulfilling career. Now for step 2, validating the market. You don't need to build some massive, complex service just to test your idea. No way. Instead, you create what's called a minimum viable offering, or MVO. Think of it as a small-scale, simplified version of your service that's designed to get you real feedback from the market quickly without, betting the farm.
And finally, Step 3, differentiation. I mean, just look at the difference here. The generic message is so forgettable, right? We help businesses grow. The specialized message, though, it speaks directly to a specific client with a specific problem, and it promises a specific outcome. Which one do you think gets the callback? Yeah, it's not even close.
All right, so once your niche is established, that's when the real magic begins to happen. This is where you monetize and grow, turning that focused expertise into long-term, scalable success. Look, becoming an expert doesn't happen overnight, but the growth is compounding. In year 1, you're learning. By year 2, you're streamlining everything. By year 3, you're innovating. And by year 5, you're a market leader. Each year of focused effort builds on the last, creating an advantage that becomes pretty much impossible for generalists to ever replicate.
And I want you to think of your niche not as a box, but as a launchpad. Your deep expertise becomes a platform to expand far beyond just one-on-one services. You can build courses, write books, offer high-level advisory services, create digital products. Your core niche is truly just the beginning.
So, what's the path forward? It all starts with a commitment. It's about having the courage to say no to the wrong opportunities, so that you have the energy to give a powerful yes to the right ones.
I love this metaphor because it perfectly captures the power of specialization.
Your energy, your talent, your time, they're all finite resources. When they're spread thin, they don't have much impact. But when you focus all of that on a single point, you become powerful enough to cut through the noise, the competition, even steal.
So think of your niche as your strategic advantage, your own protective moat that keeps all the competition at bay. This is not about playing small. It's about choosing the field where you can have the deepest, most meaningful impact and get the greatest rewards for it.
So the ultimate question is this. In a world full of generalists, what is the one specific, valuable problem that you will be known for solving? Because your answer to that, well, that's where your new journey really begins.
In a world
Ever feel like you're a talented professional, but you're just lost in the crowd? You know you've got the skills, you've got the experience, but you're really struggling to stand out. Well, today we are diving into a practical framework that's designed to give you a clear path, to help you find that focus and claim your own unique space in the market. And this quote right here, it just gets straight to the heart of the problem. You know, in a world with endless options, being a jack of all trades can actually make you invisible to the very clients you want to work with. The message is pretty blunt. Specialization is how you survive.
The million-dollar question, isn't it? The whole idea of finding your focus can feel so huge, so overwhelming. But what if there was a clear, step-by-step method to cut right through all that noise? Well, that's exactly what we're going to walk through today.
So, to make this whole thing feel real, let's follow the story of someone we'll call Maria. Maria is a fantastic graphic designer, but she's competing with, well, everyone. She takes on any project that comes her way, her portfolio is all over the map, and honestly, she's feeling totally burnt out. Maria's story is going to be our guide through this process.
Okay, so the first step in this journey is to go from having this kind of vague set of skills to a really sharp, undeniable focus. And we're going to do that by basically mapping out Maria's professional DNA. And this is the tool we're going to use. It's called the 3-circle map. The whole idea here is that your perfect niche doesn't just come from what you're good at. It's found in that magical sweet spot, that intersection of what you're great at, what you absolutely love doing, and this is the big one, what people will actually pay you for.
Let's start with that first circle for Maria, her skills. After she does some real thinking, she realizes it's not just graphic design. It's more specific. It's her unique talent for brand storytelling, for building visual identities from the ground up, and a real knack for taking on complex problems and organizing systems. These are the things people are always complimenting her on.
All right, next we shift from skill to energy. What is it that truly lights Maria up? You know, the work that doesn't feel like work? We see things like sustainability, artisanal brands, and community projects. And this part is so crucial because passion is the fuel that's going to keep you going and prevent that burnout. And now for the final, critical piece of the puzzle. What does the market actually need? I mean, Maria's passion for sustainability is awesome, but are there people out there willing to pay for her skills in that area? Oh, absolutely. You've got eco-friendly startups that desperately need professional branding, small businesses that feel invisible, and nonprofits who need to show their impact. And look what happens when you bring all 3 circles together. Boom. Her positioning statement goes from a generic, I'm a graphic designer, to this powerful, focused statement. It's specific, it clearly identifies her ideal client, and it highlights her unique value. This isn't just a job description. This is Maria's potential niche.
But, you know, a great-sounding idea is still just an idea. Now comes the important part. We have to stress test it against reality to see if this can actually become a viable business.
I absolutely love this quote because it's so direct, so honest. You can be incredibly passionate and wildly skilled, but if nobody is willing to pay for what you do, you don't have a business. You've got a hobby. So this next step, validation, is everything. And this scorecard is how we get objective. Maria goes through and rates her idea against 7 key business criteria. And look, she gives herself a 5 for willingness to pay because she knows these startups need great branding to even have a chance. And check out growth potential, another 5 out of 5, because conscious consumerism is a huge rising trend. This isn't just about a gut feeling anymore, it's a data-driven look at her idea. So, after honestly scoring ourselves across all 7 areas, Maria totals it up, and the score is 32 out of a possible 35. That, right there, is a very, very strong signal. And yeah, according to the workbook's own metrics, any score between 28 and 35 is considered a strong bet.
Maria's idea isn't just a passion project, it's now a validated, totally viable business direction. She has found her focus.
So with a validated niche in hand, what's next? Well, now we move from thinking to doing. This is where the rubber meets the road, a concrete 90-day plan to actually launch this thing.
And just look how this breaks it down into totally manageable chunks. The first 30 days, all about laying the foundation, creating content that proves she's an expert. The next 30 days are about getting real-world results with a couple of pilot clients. And then, the final 30 days are all about growth, launching her offer and building referral systems. Suddenly, the huge task of launching a business feels completely achievable, right?
And this really brings us to the ultimate takeaway from all this. Finding your niche isn't some passive thing that just happens to you. It's an active decision. It's about choosing a direction and then committing to it with unwavering focus, just like Maria did.
So, we've walked through the entire process, from feeling lost and messy to having a validated, actionable plan. The question is no longer how you find your focus. The only question left is for you. What niche will you claim? Ever feel